As the leaks and rumors about the Z Fold 6 and the Z Flip 6 continue to flow like a torrential river, we are once again faced with a situation wherein we have somewhat conflicting reports. You may remember back just a couple of months ago, we were seeing some rumors that the Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 would reportedly have less visible creases. This stuff was reported fairly widely. However, now, today, we have these dummy units, courtesy of 9 to 5 Google, and these dummy units appear to sort of push back against that by having a crease in the middle of the screen that looks pretty much exactly like the crease we've seen a million times before. So what I want to do in this video is I want to try to quickly sift through all of this information, look at a few different rumors, and see if we can find out, is there an actual conflict in this reporting? Do we have competing rumors? And then what should we actually be expecting from the Fold 6 and Flip 6 with regard to that crease? And I think a good place to start is going to be with one of the tweets that started the rumor mill up when it came to the crease on the Fold 6 back in early May. This is a tweet from Crow, who said, Fold 6 doesn't have many creases. Now, what happens a lot here is we have someone whose native language is not English, and they say something that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, it doesn't have many creases. Well, yeah, it only has one crease, and that's not very many. But that's not what they're likely meaning. I guess it's possible they're talking about how the OnePlus Open kind of has a rippled effect. Maybe they're meaning it's not that. You can interpret this many different ways. And several different people, different videos or different news articles interpreted this to mean that the Fold 6 would have a dramatically improved visibility of the crease. Effectively meaning the Fold 6 won't have much of a crease, would be one way to potentially read this. However, about a week later, we got this tweet from Ice Universe who said it's not completely eliminated, but the Fold 6 does reduce the creases. Again, creases plural. What does that mean? There used to be 2 creases, now there's 1. Same sort of situation. English is not the native language. This seems to me to be quite obviously, though, stating that the Z Fold 6 is going to have a less visible crease. Explicitly stating it's not completely eliminated, but let's be fair, no one has completely eliminated the crease. So there's a lot of wiggle room here with something like this. We're basically anywhere from what the Fold currently looks like all the way up to what, like the OnePlus Open and some of these Chinese manufactured foldables. It could be anywhere in that area. So when you have a lot of wiggle room, you're going to get reports and you're going to get people saying things that you don't necessarily know how true it's going to be. And then we get these dummy units, right? And if we zoom in here on the crease on the dummy unit, you can see this looks pretty similar to the crease that we currently have. So this would sort of point you in the direction of Samsung's done nothing with the crease. It looks pretty much exactly the same. So what is the actual truth here? Well, one thing that's really important to note here with these dummy units is that they are not necessarily indicative of the final product, right? These things can look fairly different from when the device actually ships. So unfortunately, when you look at this, you can't say that's what the crease on the Z Fold 6 is going to look like. What I would tell you is it might look as bad as this. It's likely to look a little bit better than this, but personally, I don't think it's going to look significantly better than this. I think this is going to be relatively close, which means there's going to be a fairly visible crease still remaining on the Z Fold 6. Now, curiously enough, we have heard rumors that the Flip 6 would in fact have a less visible crease, some new technology being used here, and that appears to be what is going on here with these dummy units. It's actually very hard to see looking straight on it. Now, of course, you change the angle and they're going to become much more visible, but I think that that's probably also fairly close to what these things are going to look like. Let's be honest, we see these rumors every single year. The crease has been improved, the crease has been improved, and every year we get them and we go, maybe it's a little better, and that's what I'm expecting with the Fold 6. With the Flip 6, I think it's going to be a little bit better than that, but if you are hoping for, expecting something similar to what we have on some of these Chinese manufactured foldables, I think you need to lower your expectations a little bit. It's not what's going to happen. I do think that it is still worth looking at the rest of the images, even though we've had leak after leak confirming the design of these devices. We'll run through them really quickly. You can see up here at the top, speaker, earpiece, whatever you want to call it, in display camera there. You can see the camera bar over to the side, which this image to me makes it look like those cameras aren't quite as large as in some of the other ones we've seen. It almost looked like they were touching in some of the other images, and that's not really the case here. So maybe there are some small design changes going on here and there. The bezel around the inner tablet screen looks fairly similar. When the device is closed, I do want to point out how small that hinge region is. Now, obviously, when it's flipped over and you're looking at that cover display, that's where it's really the most important, but that does sort of point us in that direction. They're making the screen wider, not by making the device wider, but actually by shrinking that hinge region to the left of the screen. You can kind of see that a little bit here in this image. Side view here, you can see how thin these devices are, and they are supposed to get a bit thinner. They're supposed to also be about as light as the OnePlus Open, so these are both very good improvements. I do like just the stamp of Samsung instead of actually being engraved. It's a dummy unit. You can see the bottom and the top here, so speaker, again, stereo speakers, expected, but always good to see. And then we have some images of the Z Flip 6, which, if I'm being honest, I don't have a whole lot to say about. They should be fine devices. They're not devices that interest me in a particularly strong way, but there you go. There are some images of those as well. I will say this black on black look is pretty sleek though. So guys, to wrap things up, don't be listening to anyone telling you that the Crease is going to be radically improved. I also don't really love seeing some of the doom and gloom. I've seen some headlines about these dummy units saying like, you know, unchanged Crease and these sorts of things. I don't think it's going to be unchanged. It's going to be, again, a small improvement like we've been seeing. Is that a little bit disappointing? Sure. Personally, I just don't think the Crease is that big of a deal. I know some people absolutely hate the Crease and they will never own one of these because of it, and they're waiting for the day that the Crease is invisible. You're going to be waiting for a long time for something like that. So hopefully you have a good idea of what to be expecting out of these devices, and we should be, you know, not waiting too much longer, guys. Probably here in just a couple of weeks, the full unveiling should be happening. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that stuff. When there is a live Unpacked event to unveil them, you know I'm going to be live streaming that event, so you're going to want to be here for that. It's a lot of fun. We usually have some great conversations in the chat while those things are going on. So guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.